Around 5 months ago, my wife and I separated. 2 kids, 500K a year business, and 4 employees. In the first 90 days, I almost destroyed everything. Most men make some fatal mistakes when going through separation. They drink alcohol or too much of it, they drown themselves in work, or they numb their pain by working very hard. So this video is a compilation of the top 6 worst decisions men make after separation and what I did instead in order to keep my sanity, have a really good relationship with my 2 daughters, and save my business. So mistake number 1 is to drown yourself in work. That's not a good idea because you will most likely suppress those feelings that are still there underneath the surface. For example, you probably have some form of anger or denial or sadness that wants to go through your system. And if you don't allow these feelings, they will create problems later on, because if you push them away, they will just get stronger and persist. And the time you'll need to heal will take much longer. So what I suggest you do is take off your evenings, take off all your weekends, and if you can, take some time during the day even to call your friends, your mom, your dad, whoever it is who can help you to talk about things. And in my case, I did a lot of that, and I concentrated on getting the most important things done. And if you know the Pareto principle, then you already know as a business owner how important it is to focus on the vital few. So I suggest you really do that and take a lot of time to go on walks, talk with friends, and process your feelings. Let them go through you. So mistake number 2 is the filling the void externally. And what I'm referring to is actually distraction. Everything that is external, like going to parties, drinking alcohol with friends, going out every other evening, and just generally not being with yourself and sitting through your emotions and what's really going on within you. And so in my case, for example, a friend of mine, I think after 2 or 3 weeks that I was separated from my wife, he said, "Hey Julian, let's go to this dating party." And I actually gave it some serious thought, but then I decided, no, Julian, I'm not really open to dating right now. Should I really do this now? And I trusted my gut and didn't do it. And I highly recommend you don't lose yourself in distractions. Instead, you might actually want to focus on work, but if you can, focus on meaningful work and focus on the vital things that really will help you sustain your business. Mistake number 3 is alcohol. This is actually a much bigger one than you might think it is, because alcohol does mess with your emotions, and you might be tempted to do some things that you'll regret later on. So if you absolutely must drink alcohol, don't do it alone and do it with a meal or something. And if you can, and if I were you, I would completely cut alcohol, because it just makes going through this healing process much more difficult. In my case, I actually haven't had a drink in more than 1.5 years now, but it didn't prevent me from getting separated from my wife. But still, I think it's a big win, and I'm proud I was able to cut alcohol from my things I do, and it's part of my new identity. And if you're interested in this subject, I have another video on this channel about the reasons why I quit drinking alcohol. Here is where it gets really interesting, because the first 3 mistakes were all about the things we do, like drinking alcohol, numbing the pain with work, or getting really distracted. But the next 3 mistakes are really about the things we don't do. And those are actually the ones that almost destroyed me. Mistake number 4 is making major business decisions. In the first 90 days after your separation, I highly suggest not to take any big decisions in your business. This could be anything from firing employees to changing business models to having the idea you need to sell your business. Those are all not good ideas, because if you're operating from survival, that's a bad place to be in, to take decisions, like major decisions, because most likely you will regret doing these things. It's much better to take strategic decisions when you're in a place where you feel good about yourself and where you resolved issues with your still wife and you're going through them in a very good and positive way. So in the first 90 days, I didn't take any radical decisions. Instead, I focused on delegating more, concentrating on the vital few, and making sure that I have enough time to process my feelings and to feel good about myself again. Mistake number 5 is making your ex the enemy. This is a really big one, and I think many men do this, and there's absolutely no reason for you to do that. Because if you do it, you will stay stuck and it'll create so many problems down the road you can't even imagine. A much better way to look at it is that now is the time to reflect and to really think about why on earth did this woman that I used to be in love with, why did she say she wants a separation? And there's no way you can find that out by talking about it with your wife or getting angry about the situation or getting angry and mad at her. There's no way you can figure these things out because your thinking will be clouded by these negative emotions. So a much better way is to accept what is, because you can't change it anyway. If your wife says she doesn't want to be with you anymore, you accept it, and that's the fastest way to deal with it in a very good way. And then you just spend time by yourself, think about it, reflect about it, and you also want to do this because if there are kids involved, there's no way you want to talk in a negative way in front of your kids. And not even your kids. If at one point you want to date again or get to know new women again, if you talk bad about your ex-wife, I mean, these women will run as fast as they can because they don't want to have anything to do with a guy who doesn't own his shit and who talks negatively about an ex. It's just something you don't want to do. And the positive side effect of accepting that she doesn't want to be with you anymore is that you might be able to work out some things that really benefit you. In my case, I started to be very friendly with her from the beginning, and we did have some fights and discussions, but within the first 2 weeks, I was able to take the decision to go to Date with Destiny in Florida, and I was able to book a flight to Bangkok from the 26th of December to January 6th. And I had the blessing from my wife, who didn't want to be together with me anymore, but I had her blessing to do that, and that was just awesome. You will certainly not be able to achieve something like that when from day one you go on in confrontation mode. Mistake number 6 is isolating yourself. If you don't tell your friends, your family, or your coworkers, it's not a good idea because you want to be as transparent as you can possibly be with this new situation. In my case, I talked about it with my brother and dad from day one, and I admitted I made mistakes. I also told my team that I'm going through a separation, and it was an awesome experience because they appreciated me being open and vulnerable. And I feel like this one thing alone helped me become a lot closer with my team, but not only my team, but also with my family, because they could relate to the pain I was going through. And they were really able to help me once I opened up about my situation. So one of the reasons I was able to move through the pain, the grief, the denial so quickly was because I got help from day one in form of my family, friends, a coach, going through Date with Destiny. All of these things really helped me go through the separation really quickly and come out on the other end in a very good state. This is where I am at right now at around month 5 of my separation. To wrap things up, if you are currently going through separation and you're in that 90 days window, please listen carefully. You need to slow down, take your time, get support, talk with friends and your family. Maybe you might want to get a coach. And also, please don't make any of these mistakes I was describing in this video, like drinking alcohol, distracting yourself, or numbing yourself with work. Also, I developed a quiz that you can take. You'll find it below this video. It's a bunch of questions, interactive, very easy to answer those questions. And at the end, you'll know exactly where you stand and what you might want to work at in order to close the gaps. So this is it for today. If you liked the video, please subscribe or give it a thumbs up. It'll really help this channel. And I'm also looking forward to seeing you in the next one.